Hey everybody, thanks for joining us here on 9 News Watch for a detailed look at that potentially wintry forecast for us as we head into next week. I know there's a lot of buzz about the cold and the snow that is heading to much of Colorado, so I'm going to break it down for you. Meteorologist Chris Bianchi here in the 9 News Weather Center. So let's start things out with some of the overviews and to kind of give us an idea, at least for us here in Denver, what we really should be paying attention to. Now, I know a lot of the buzz is, especially with the first snow of the season, we're all, whoa, it's going to snow next week. Let me just say this, the snow chances look pretty slim for us here in Denver. I think if we do see any, it would be just some light flakes for us, maybe a little bit of slushy accumulation in the foothills and the Palmer Divide. But the real deal with next week's system is it's going to bring us our first sub-freezing temperatures of the year. So this is the weekend to winterize your home. And I know, myself included, some of us have been kind of putting it off. I get it. It's been a beautiful fall. Some of you have gone up and checked out the fall leaves instead. This is the weekend to winterize your home. Now is the time to do it. Temperatures will be right around 32 next week. I'll show you that in detail in just a second. But it does look like we'll be looking at least a very strong possibility of getting our first freeze. All right, that's out of the way. Goodbye, fall leaves. It's been a spectacular last 2 weeks of peak season for us in Colorado. We're already coming to the end of that. We're going to see a lot of wind in the mountains starting this weekend, and that'll last into next week. So the wind will blow away all those fall leaves. And then there's also going to be some significant mountain snow and wind impacts next Tuesday and Wednesday. In Denver, there will not be a whole lot in the way of impacts, but we will see certainly some of those into the mountains. Now, first system that's going to drop its way on through, we got two systems that are in play. The first one is the one I'm showing you here. That's that L moving its way through Colorado. That'll lead to initially quite a bit in the way of wind and some much cooler temperatures for us Saturday and into Sunday. Snow will only really be at the highest elevations from the system. Taking a look here at some areas where we could see some snow, again, Cottonwood Pass, Crested Butte, maybe an inch or two of wet snow with this first system, but it doesn't look like that'll make its way. This will be kind of similar to the system we saw about 2 weeks ago, if you remember that, where we saw a little bit of slushy accumulation in some of those highest elevations. This is a warm system. It's coming in from our southwest. So long story short, that will be mainly for us here as we get into the mountains, where we'll be seeing those highest elevations, 10,000, 11,000 feet or above, gets a little bit in the way of snow. Everybody else gets left out from this first system. Now, the second system, this is the stronger, more significant one. That moves its way on through Tuesday and Wednesday. For us here in Denver, that's going to lead to what I term a Snapchat snow. This is going to be basically a bunch of people out there with their phones saying, oh, look, it's snowing, but it's actually not going to probably stick if it does, if we even do see those snowflakes here in Denver next Tuesday and Wednesday. So it won't be a big deal here in the Denver area, but what will be a big deal for next Tuesday and Wednesday, you get into the mountains, that is where we're looking at significant snow and strong winds starting probably on Tuesday, and the worst of it looks to be Tuesday night and to Wednesday. So if you have plans to travel in through the mountains, and especially from I-70 on north, it looks like Tuesday night and Wednesday will be quite tricky. And by the way, the worst of the snow will be up in Wyoming. So I-80, yeah, that's going to be especially tricky. Travel Laramie on North I-80 on North 25 through the kind of bighorns there of Wyoming. Boy, it's going to be a real mess up that way. And don't want to overlook our friends here in Colorado. The parks, the Gores, the Medicine Bow Range, we're going to get a fair bit of snow, maybe even in some cases up to a foot of snow for us in northern Colorado. I do expect our first winter weather alerts to be issued for the first time since May here for the Central Rockies, including much of Colorado, so much of northern Colorado. So here's a look at how it kind of breaks down for us here into the Denver area. We do get those temperatures staying on the warm side as we head through the next kind of 24, 48 hours or so. Another, by the way, note is today temperatures will be right around 80 degrees here in Denver. That could well be our final 80-degree day until next spring. So it's just something worth considering is that today we could be talking about our warmest temperatures in the next 4, 5, 6 months or so. Then we get that drop in temperatures with that first system Saturday night into Sunday. That'll lead to some isolated showers for your Sunday. Not a whole lot of impacts for us here in Denver from that first storm system because it's coming in from the southwest. We'll get downsloping winds that'll dry us on out. So long story short, maybe an isolated shower or two for us on Sunday, but we're mainly dry and windy for us through the weekend. Then early next week, we kind of clear things on out in between the next storm system, between the two storm systems, I should say. And then Tuesday and into Wednesday is when we see the potentially higher impacts from that bigger storm system. That'll lead to some rain and some snow for us here in the lower elevations, including Denver. The exact impact still to be determined depending on the exact track of our next storm system, but we do expect some showers and some thunderstorms starting later on Tuesday, and then by Wednesday we'll see some of that rain potentially change over to a little bit of slush for us here in the Denver area. But again, it won't be a big deal. Another note to kind of take away from this as well is if we do end up seeing measurable snowfall in Denver, this is basically on schedule. Denver's average first measurable snowfall date is October the 18th. Next Wednesday is October the 13th. So we're basically right where we should be in terms of getting that first little bit of snow. So again, Mother Nature on time with that. But if you're new to the Denver area, might be a little bit of a surprise, of course, that we do get these mid-October snows. If you've been in Denver or Colorado throughout a longer period of time, you probably know that we can get blockbuster snowstorms in October. This will not be that. This would be, at most, a little bit of some flakes, some wet flakes, maybe a little bit of slushy accumulation on car tops and grass. That'd be the worst case scenario. This will not be any sort of blockbuster storm event, but the big takeaways, as I mentioned, I'll actually pull that graphic back up here for a quick second, is winterize your home, say goodbye to the fall leaves. So if you've got the opportunity to go up today to check out those fall leaves, do it, because the winds will start to knock off some of those leaves this weekend, and then they'll be completely gone probably next Tuesday or Wednesday with that stronger wind and snow system that moves its way through the middle of the next week. So the fall leaves will be gone, and then the mountains will get some impacts from the weekend storm system. Again, you got to get way up there, 10, 11,000 feet from the first one, but it's next week's Tuesday and Wednesday where we're talking about snow accumulating down to the Eisenhower Tunnel, Vail Pass, even down into places like Idaho Springs. So we're talking about some pretty wide impacts from that next storm system, and especially along and north of I-70. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a good idea in terms of what to expect from this next storm system. Again, Denver impacts will be fairly limited. It will get chilly. Again, winterize your home, harvest the garden this weekend, get that all done now, because next week it does look to be our first temperatures dropping down to right around freezing, if not a little bit below that. So hopefully it's giving you a bit of a good overview about what to expect with the upcoming storm system. I'm Meteorologist Chris Bianchi here in the 9 News Weather Center.